Hey everyone, Todd Moonbounce here, and today we're going to go over generating a cantina from our latest Patreon document. You meet in a cantina, which helps to bring your party together, find that location where they start, and also give you some options to generate some NPCs, the jobs they're offering, and fleshing out that location itself as well. So we're going to run through those role tables that are included in that document. If you haven't checked that out yet, do so. It is on our Patreon. I'll have a link here in the video that is available for all tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers. So we need a place for our players, for our party to meet, and we're specifically using that classic example of meeting in a tavern, or in our case a cantina. So first things first, we need to figure out where that's located, where in the galaxy that is located. So let's go ahead and bring up where that's going to be. It's a D6 roll to find out. We have 4 options: mid-rim, outer rim, the expansion, or the inner rim. Roll a D6 here. And a 5. So we have the expansion region. Okay. So now let's find out the style of cantina, the size essentially. We have 3 sizes: small, medium, large, and some further descriptions of what you could potentially make that. So that is another D6 roll here. And that is a 2, a small tundra cantina. Prefab building dropped near an outpost, mining operation, or in the middle of a stable glacier or Arctic icy planet. And as we mentioned, in the expansion rim. So with that, we also need to find out how many rooms are in this cantina. For the small, we have up to 1d4 rooms. We'll roll that, see what we get. And behind me, it is a 4, so a good size here for the small. We have 4 rooms total. Make note of that there. All right, and this is a fun part in this process, is figuring out what those rooms are and then putting those together. So let's first roll what these rooms are, and that's a D6. So I'll just roll 4d6 here. We've got a 1, 3, 5, and a 4. All right, so a 1 is a gambling area. We have a dining area for the number 3. Number 4 is a club floor. And lastly, number 5 is a stage or a special area. So maybe there's a stage for the band, and that's where that club floor is, and then you have other areas for dining and gambling that we do. Throw that up there. And when we're assembling this, you utilize the dice to kind of arrange how you want to be that layout. So we always have an extra room in the center, a D6 or a 6 on the D6, which is a main area. So that is always going to show up. So you're always going to get that free extra room. And I'll see if we can throw some dice images on the board here. I'm using Foundry for this to kind of assemble this. So getting a few dice out here, we need a total of 5 rooms. One more here, and then I'll adjust these. These are randomizing. This is a thing I have set up on Foundry, but so get these where we can see them. So as I said, you're always going to start with that D6 with the number 6 up as your main area. So you kind of set that in the middle, and then however you want to assemble these. Of course, these are all kind of crooked and whatnot, just for how I was using them otherwise, but they'll serve their purpose. So you just align these up how you want. So we have our gambling area. Let's say that's off a ways. Our dining area is the number 3. Let's put that up here at the top. And then we have off the main area, we're also going to put our club floor, and past that will be the stage special area, and then maybe on the other side here is that gambling area, number 1. So arrange those how you want, and this gives you a rough map of your cantina. So we've got that central room, the number 6, and then 2 rooms off to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the north there to the top, and you can rearrange this however you want. Of course, we rolled for the small size. If you get a large cantina, you have a chance to get up to maximum 12 plus the 1, so 13 rooms. You could have a really expansive building here depending on what you roll for that. And this is just a fun way to lay out your dice and see how that takes shape and get yourself a rough layout of that. So there we go. We have our Cantina laid out, what that is. So let's get a name here for the Cantina. We do have a name table here, and there's obviously plenty of other options you can add, but and this one I think was one that we put on our Instagram, so make sure you check that out for similar tables like this. But this is essentially a D10, 2D10 we'll roll them separately here. So here's the first one for the adjective here, and the noun is going to be an 8. So 6 and 8. And there's a few different ways you can utilize this that we suggest. You could do the adjective and noun, you could go the adjective noun, or you could do noun and noun. So I rolled a 6 and an 8. If we do straight adjective noun, that is the Juicy Rhodian. So that's an option there. I like it. Let's take it. Juicy Rhodian is our Cantina name. I'm gonna roll get these dice out of here. We know what our thing looks like. Roll one more D10. We'll do a noun and noun. A 4. Okay, 8 and a 4. The Rhodian Android. That could be another name there if we wanted as well. So, all right, we have our Cantina. We know what it looks like, the sizes and all of that. We now need to populate that with some contacts, with some people, NPCs that the players are going to run into and hopefully get a job. So we have some options for that. Of course, the species list is endless. We just have a few things to start with in some other backgrounds, but that's a D6. So I'm going to roll 2D6 here a couple times. And our first roll is going to give us a 4 and a 1, which will be a Nautilin Gambler. Another roll here. And that is a 3 and a 3. So a Rhodian Smuggler. Appropriate that a Rhodian would be in the Juicy Rhodian. And then one more. 2 1s, a Toydarian Gambler. So we have 3 patrons that are here in the Juicy Rhodian Cantina. Nautilin, the Rhodian, and the Toydarian, and they will be the ones to potentially have some options for our players to go and meet with. Now, there's there's an opportunity to have a connection between some of these NPCs and the players, and we offer that as well. It's a D10 roll. So let's go ahead and throw on here. You don't have to use this for each one. Maybe it's just a random individual, but there's an opportunity here. So let's roll the D10 on that for each of these. Okay, so we have a 3, an 8, and a 5. So the Nautilin, a 3 is that a player, a PC, owes this NPC a favor. So of that. Number 8 is the NPC owes a PC a favor. So the Rhodian Smuggler owes PC a favor. Connection there. And number 5, so we got almost one of each. 3 main options. The last one is no previous connection. Toydarian Gambler. This is a first meeting, but with a mutual acquaintance. These are the ways that potentially that will know each other, the PCs, and back forth. So great ways to just start those connections as well. Things you would bring up potentially. This is something you're going to want to do obviously before that session, so you'll have this information, and then you can talk to that player and say, okay, you in the case of the Nautilin, you owe this person a favor. You don't have to tell them they're going to run into them here, but you might, and you can continue on. So the last big part of this is the opportunity. So we need to know, what's the job? What are the job that these have? So the first part is the format of this job, because the job it has a bunch of individual roll tables as well, so we have to figure out the format. So we're going to roll 3 of these, one for each of these NPCs we generated. So that is a D6, so I'll just roll 3 D6 here, see what we get. 6, 1, and 6. All right, so 6 is the format for this is that our task is paid for by the client, and the target is a second role, plus there's a twist later on. So the client is likely either going to be that NPC in the cantina that you met. Maybe the NPC introduces or tells who the client is, however you want to bring that up. And we also do have use the first column in this opportunity as a client as well. So, all right, let's look at the Nautilin's opportunity. So this is a D12 roll. First thing is we need to find out who the client is and what the task is. So go ahead and roll 2D12. Like an 8 and a 10 there. 8 and a 10. So 8 is a politician, so that's our client. And the task, a 10, is to defend. All right. And then the target. So this target is going to be who we're defending. Roll another D12 for that. And that is a 9. All right. So a fence. Somebody that's going to, you know, exchange, you know, probably some illegitimate goods and other things like that. All right. And then what is our twist? Let's find out our twist for this specific opportunity. That is an 11. A bounty is placed on the PCs. Okay, so write out our full opportunity here. A politician wants party to defend a fence, but a bounty is placed on the PCs. Let's see if this might run off the... Yeah, so... Okay, there we go. So that's our first opportunity. So I said that was for the Nautilin. You can give that to whoever. That's just like that. We generated our first opportunity based on this roll table, and there you go. You can figure out who these people are: the politician, the fence, things like that. How they have to defend them. Maybe they're being transported, and you need to run as a bodyguard or the sort. Just like that, you have a way to provide an initial opportunity. So let's do one more of these as an example. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick manually. Of course, you can always do this. You can always pick through the tables. You don't have to always roll. Rolling helps. But if you want to pick something specific. So just to get another one here, I'm going to do just the option 1 and 2 on the dice roll gives a target, potentially plus the NPC connection if you want. And then a task and twist. So let's roll that D12 here for the target first. And that is a 3. So a 3 is pilot. Another D12 for what that task is. And that is a 10. To defend, let's roll another one since we had that on the last job. A 6 to stalk or hunt. And then lastly, what is our twist? 2. It's in a backwater locale, so maybe that causes some issues. You know, it's not easy to get to. So our second job is that a pilot wants party to stalk and hunt somebody. We don't have a target on this. We could generate a target. Actually, you could say that we could say that the pilot is the client. We could say the pilot is the target. However you want to roll that. And you can include the NPC connection in this as well. Maybe that's how this is. So you are supposed to stalk and hunt the NPC connection and the other target. We'll say that. We'll say that you have to stock, hunt, NPC plus pilots, but at a backwater locale. So, and you know, whatever NPC you assign this to, we'll say this is the Rhodian smuggler. He's working with the pilot. You need to stalk both of them. And kind of the first part of this puzzle is that you went to this cantina and you began by hunting down this Rhodian, and you have to get that other piece of the puzzle, which is the pilot. But the twist there, the challenge, is that they're going to be in some backwater place that's tough to get to get that. So, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell. How to generate quickly, the location that you're bringing your party together in, what it looks like with those rooms. Lots of opportunity there. You could just look at that alone and you know, populate each room with different NPCs, you know, what is going on in the gambling area, the dining area, things of that nature. And then those contacts. Additionally, outside of just the few species that we suggested here, there's so many more, of course, in the backgrounds. We also have a few other tables on our Instagram that will provide some mannerisms and appearances, some tables on there, so what they look and act like. Because those sort of things are great to provide for your NPCs, so they're not just stale. Give them something that the players will remember and hold on to when they meet them. And then the jobs, you know, as we did, come up with as many as you want, mix them around. There's 12 options for the target/client column, task, and then the twists, and lots of possibilities out of that. You know, you come up, if you're drawing a blank with what you want to do to start your campaign, this is a great way to do so and just get things running off the bat. And yeah, just really just get started, because then once the campaign gets going, then you can think about what's the longer goal here, what's the longer story going to be, and you pick up what the players are like, what they want to do, and get into it. So that's it. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out the Patreon. This You Meet in a Cantina Patreon, available now for all Tier 2 and Tier 3 subscribers. Big thank you to all of those that are supporters. Appreciate it very much. And otherwise, check us out, all of our content, dungeonjedimasters.com. We will see you on the next one. May the Force be with you.